Here to BP 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Bam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it, underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Part of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action.
Hello. Hey!
From the start to the finish, go hard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition. We're back again of the Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Brotherhood. Today, this evening, it is the late afternoon hours here on a Friday, September 27th, 2024, the last week of September. You are here for episode 228 of the Heart of a Villain. It has been a while, folks. It has been a bit since I have sat behind this microphone saying howdy, how we doing, and stuff. Oh, man. It has been a time. You know, it's funny. You get caught up in life, right? You just get caught up in life and you get busy with things, and then you make the best case, you make your best case scenario for how you can do something. You set something up for it, and something comes crashing down and something else happens. And then obviously then you throw family into it too. And you always got to make time for family first, as we always say. And it's crazy how things happen. And then last night, I made a post and said, we are definitely doing the show tonight because most of you know that I have been involved in a local community theater production again, as I do probably anywhere between 1 and 3 times a year. And for this show, I'm running the sound for it. And the show started last week. We've been doing rehearsals for about 8 weeks, or at least about 6 weeks that I've been a part of it when I needed to be there for sound stuff. And then we started the show. The show lasts for 2 weeks once the performances start. So that was last weekend and this weekend. And once the performances start, I am not free on Fridays and Saturday nights and then Sunday afternoons. So I have to do the show for sure on Thursdays those weeks. But during rehearsals, I have to shift everything to Friday night because we don't have rehearsals on Friday night. So anyway, as you've been aware that that's kind of the case, well, I made plans for the show to be last night because Thursday night off, Friday night's the night of the show. We have to be in the show. I have to be at the theater in about an hour and a half. But the issue was I had to go pick something up yesterday. So I went and picked up my new car yesterday evening, and I had planned on saying, well, we'll get back home. When we get back home, I'll just jump on and I'll do the podcast then. Well, on our way back from getting the car, we had a family member that wasn't feeling well and had to end up going to the hospital. Not in my household, but a family member nonetheless. And everything's fine. Everything's fine with it. But because everything else, happens then, when anytime obviously you have a family member that needs to go to the hospital, everybody jumps into action and people start covering things and helping things out. And so then I had to pivot and last minute and say, okay, well, I'm staying home and no podcast tonight. So I'm going to try and do it early before I have to leave for the show tomorrow on Friday, which is now. And that's why. That's the long and short of it. That's the reason why we are here at 4 p.m. Central on a Friday, which is an odd time. But for those of you who are overseas and out of the country, it may tend to be a better time for you. I know Mars is over there in Germany, and we've got Rob in England. And so we've got some guys that are jumping on a little earlier than they normally would have. So maybe that works about better for them. I don't know. But I'll say hi to all you guys in just a minute. But so, yeah, it's been a very interesting few weeks. And then on top of that, man, did I mention I got a new car? Very, very cool. Many of you guys who have been through that process of looking for a car, basically what happened is my son, who has to drive to college 4 days out of the week, drive across town to college for his courses, he ends up driving my car because his schedule doesn't jive with mine, even though I'm driving to the same city, to the same area of town that he is in, basically 2 days out of the week. But then, as luck would have it, the timings just are completely opposite times. and he needs, he wants a car to get around. So that car's paid off, and so we're just going to hand that one down to him. And the decision was that, hey, I guess Brian's going to get a new car then. So, hey, awesome, right? And I had my heart set on one specific car until I test drove it. Not really test drove it, really. I just sat in it and did not like it. I did not like the way it sat. I didn't like the way I thought I would. And so I had to pivot. I don't think it was enough room. And so we went out a week or so ago, went out, started looking around at cars. And lo and behold, stopped by this Buick dealership of all things. I never would have thought that I would be an owner of a Buick. I think, they're nice cars, and I know they've changed over the years. But yeah. Rob's killing me. I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, so if you know me at all, you know that I like my creature comforts, right? I like my creature comforts. I like all the buttons and bells and whistles and stuff. And it's hard to find something that we could afford because we got a steal on the one car that we have. The one that I was driving before, it was fully loaded. The only thing it didn't have is a moonroof, which I love to have. But we happened to come across this one, and it's a Buick, and it has everything and then some. The only thing it doesn't have are cooled seats, which I really don't want. I have them in the other car, never use them. And it actually has a moonroof on it. And it has that infotainment screen system that goes all 3/4 of the way across the dashboard, and it looks like a spaceship. It is so cool. And as much as I'm in the car for road trips, for BV stuff, I want to be comfortable. I want to have a happy, homey place to be in my car. And so this thing worked out perfectly for us. And the timing of it was awesome. So yeah, so I've got this new ride, and I love it. It's all black, top to bottom. Very, very cool. I'm a big fan of it. So that's been my time. So we're gonna get off. We're gonna get going here. You know what I mean. We're gonna get going here in just a few minutes. I do want to give a shout out to everybody that is here live with us today. Say howdy to everybody. Anthony is hanging out with us from 32,000 feet. He's up in the air using that Wi-Fi, using that plane Wi-Fi, up from 32,000 feet. Hello, good to see you here tonight, today, this evening, whatever time it is. Mars hanging out from Frankfurt. Good to see you here as well. Incidentally, Anthony said he's on his way back home for their bike build. Just finished some work at the Hurricane in Atlanta. Fabulous. That is awesome. Good for you. Good for you. The little Dane is hanging out with us as well. How we doing? Good, sir? Good to see you here tonight. Buddy is also hanging out with us from simple old Chattanooga, as he says. Yeah, everybody else is like some fancy location, aren't they? And here we are. Buddy, we're just sitting at home. We're just sitting at home. But that's okay. That's okay. They have to move around a lot. They're traveling, and we know sometimes those headaches of those travel days. We just get to chill. We're just going to chill. So we can do that. Rob's hanging out with us as well. Good afternoon for you, good sir, or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it works out for. Definitely good to see you here. And we've also got, let's see, I thought I saw another one of our friends in here going back and forth with somebody. Rob, of course, had to make the comment. To be very clear, BP did not buy the car approved by me. No, sir, I did not. That would have been impractical and expensive. So, unfortunately for me, would have been impractical for sure, because it has 2 seats in it. And I'm not so sure it would be great for road tripping for sustainability. So I apologize for that. But thank you guys so much for being here with us. There was a little thing that happened, and I said it again. I said I'm going to try to get out of the phrase of doing that. I always say little thing when I'm referring back to anything, right? That's just a thing with me. There's a little thing going on, and I just have that. I don't know what that is. It's a verbal tick or whatever it is that I say. But anyway, there was actually a big thing that was going on this past weekend. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend, but a whole bunch of other people did. And I'm talking, of course, about ECM over in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And all the pictures and the videos that I've seen from it were just awesome. The stories I've heard from guys that went had an awesome time, and that's just so refreshing. It's so refreshing to see that we continue to do the work and to share in the brotherhood despite any differences that we might have that are going on in life, in BV life or outside. So definitely a refreshing thing to see. I think that's a great testament to what this brotherhood is. So, in just a minute, I'm going to share with you the interview that I had with Dennis, talking about all of the goodness, all the cool stuff that was going on last weekend with ECM. I wanted so badly to try and get an interview with him before as kind of a advertisement to it, and the timing just didn't work out. And then we thought that I had an opening like a day or so before the event, but then as you know, if you're hosting a big event, that's very hard to do. And it fitted in with my time schedule as well. When I'm trying to separate time from the theater and everything else, it's a difficulty. So, but I did get him on, and fun interview with him, talking about ECM. And incidentally, ECM for next year is going to be hosted by the Empire State Boys, and that's going to be a great time. I've already tried to block it out on my schedule, so I don't think that I'm going to be involved in any kind of theater productions at the theater next September for ECM. Just need to get you Empire State Boys. Make sure you get me the dates for sure, and so I can box out my weekend for that. And you know what I'll do? I'll drive my new car. It will be a year old by then. But it's funny how things work out, because when I signed the paperwork for this thing, and yes, it was an actual. And I've always been one of those people that says you don't want to buy a brand new car, because you want to buy a car that has all the little hiccups and all the little things already worked out of it. So like, want to buy a program car or gently used car or something like that. But sometimes that just doesn't work out. And it just worked out that this was actually a new car. And and what's funny is it only had 13 miles on it. And that's my lucky number. And so I think it was just meant to be that it was my car. It was going to be my car. I didn't even notice it until you sign the little form that has the odometer statement on it. And you find out 13 miles. Well, that was just meant to be. So good times. All right. Well, without further ado, I want to go ahead and make sure I get this interview in here, so we can talk about that. But before I get to the interview, I did want to share a couple of merch items that I think are important to our brotherhood as a whole right now going on. And I just think it's awesome stuff what some of our chapters and guys are doing out there. And I want to try and bring this. Let's see if I can find this message where one of our brothers was telling me about. So I prepared to give some information about it. So let's see. All right. So Rababa, I'm going to mention your statement that you gave me about whatever it is you're doing with your merch stuff. But hey, let's just get into some of this, a couple of merch items from our chapters real quick, because there's some chapters doing some really cool stuff. So right now, Rababa, BV London is doing something pretty cool right now. And I believe that he said that let's see, I know he sent me a message. Rob, you have to, if I don't get it before you hear me with this, the delay here, It's Okay Not to Be Okay shirt and pin. This will be on sale until September 30th at midnight. So we've only got about 4 more days. So I've been slacking pretty hard. I apologize. I really wanted to get this information out, but there's no excuse. If you want to buy one, get one. You have 3 days to do it. So, but I want to mention a little bit about the story behind this. And if you have any questions, reach out to old Rob about it. So he sent me a message that talks about this. No, so this is that It's Okay Not to Be Okay. It's a T-shirt and a pin badge. The pin is only 7 pounds, and the shirt starts out at 20 pounds, which, hey, you can't argue with those prices. And it looks like a pretty cool. Anytime you get, we all have black shirts, right? But we want a black shirt that has something that's recognizable that you can see from across a room, and this fits that profile for sure. So I definitely, this weekend, I'm going to be logging in and grabbing one of these shirts, Rob. So anyway, he says, just as kind of a descriptor about this project that they're doing. It's okay not to be okay. Behind those words at Bearded Villains London, we know lives get tough. We want to use our platform for good. That's why we aimed to feature matters around mental health. But these feature days don't come along every day. And the spirit of our message is that that the conversation doesn't stop. With the words, it's okay not to be okay, we not only want to extend a listening ear and a loving arm to those people, we also want to exercise any feelings of shame. It takes a lot of bravery to face the world, and some days more than others. None of us are invincible, and often, particularly as men, there's a perception of a need of toughness, the strong, silent type, if you will. But so often, that regression takes a deeper and more lasting toll. That repression, I'm sorry, takes a deeper and more lasting toll. So we share the message that it's okay not to be okay. You don't and shouldn't wait until you are in crisis to have that conversation. And often we can stop that downward spiral. We truly want to spread the word, remove anyone's feeling of isolation, and just put out a good vibe. Not in a chirpy, saccharine way, but in a way that really can speak to someone who may not be okay, and that's okay. And we are there for them. So, BV London, really cool stuff, guys. Get out there, support this effort. You know, I've been saying these words every single episode for the last 4 years, 4.5 years, I think. I can't remember what episode I started saying it on, but it's been the 99% of the time of this show that it is okay not to be okay. And if you are hurting, find a brother to talk to. And, you know, this is a message that we need to carry, not just during some sort of a month that's regulated or designated toward it. We need to carry this message year round. And that's something that BV London's trying to do with this. So congratulations, guys. Get out there and support these guys because they're doing something cool with this project. So thank you very much for that. Next up, we've got South Mississippi. They've got a patch set, and I don't have the price on there. I apologize for that. The picture that I had for them, it only had the pictures of the patches. But I have to say, the design of these patches has like this old school, like, I don't know what it is. It's this homey kind of, it's unlike any other patch. The way that they're made, it almost looks like it's I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't look like it's a fully stitched patch the way that it is. It's almost like the pieces of the actual patch were placed on there. And it's just a very, very cool vibe for these Christmas patches. So very cool. Get out there. I hopefully have some more details on that by next week, but I wanted to get it on here for us to share. So South Mississippi is doing some really cool stuff here with this these Christmas patches, and I think they sell them as a set. So get over there and grab one of those for sure. And then here home at my chapter, we still have our return of Ezra. Well, it's not the return because it returns every year, but it is our Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt. And this year we kind of stepped it up a little bit. And as you know, the Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt from Northern Indiana. Every year we kind of pay homage to some sort of a legendary rock album with our shirt. And so I think you can tell which shirt, if you're anything into rock in the last 30 years, you can tell what this one is paying homage to. And on the back again, once again, as we always do, we have the names of the cities where Ezra, or a member of our chapter in Lou, has been to spread the word of our chapter and support other chapters and do charity works on behalf of our chapter. So several cities located on the back there. And this year we stepped it up a little bit because we have two different types of shirts. In addition to, we have a sleeveless shirt and a hoodie. And everything ranges in price from, I think, $26 for the lowest price shirt up to $28 for the next type of shirt, and then up to $40 that starts out with the hoodies. So a variety of things. These are limited. We only make these shirts for a short time. They are made to own or made to order. So if you go out to the BV website, BV Northern Indiana website, which is bvnorthernindiana.org, right now you can get one and it'll be made for you and shipped out within the next couple of days. So it's not a pre-order. You'll be able to grab them and go. But we only make them available for a short time at the end of each year. So within a few weeks, probably, these shirts will be gone for the year, and that's the only chance you get to have this shirt made. So, and once they're gone, they're gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. We have people that have asked us about the shirts from previous years, and as of yet, we're not planning on doing a re-release of any of them. So it's kind of like, you collect a set if you get each one. So we'll see. But that's the way of it. So grab one of those, the Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt this year. And then finally, I have this, and I'm not sure how long this is going to go on, but I've been told I think it's only through this weekend. I think this is it's on a pre-sale for BV Nova, and I think it's only through this weekend. So if you're interested in this long sleeve T-shirt that says Nova Halloween, with their very cool way of spelling out Nova with the V and the A with the skeleton hands, from Northern Indiana or Northern Virginia villains. $30 gets you this shirt. Go over there and grab one of these things. These bad boys. They're only available, I think, on pre-order through this weekend, I think. So if you're interested in one of those, get out there and grab one of those. So thank you guys so much for doing some really cool merch coming up these last few weeks. If your chapter or you are doing something cool merch related wise and I have not included it, please let me know and I will get it on here right away. Right away. All right. So I said I had an interview with Dennis from the PA East Villains, and we're talking about a little. See, I did it again. I've said it for so many years. We're talking about a really cool event that we know and love called ECM. So here's my interview with Dennis talking about ECM. Hey, everybody, if you have been under a rock somewhere or, I don't know, just not paying attention to the world of BV, you wouldn't have known that just this past weekend, a thing over on the East Coast called ECM occurred. And one of the men responsible for making sure that this thing happened, along with his cohorts over in PA East, I guess is what we'll say, since we've already given it away that it's East Coast. I'm here today talking with Dennis, and he's going to tell us all about what a weekend that was ECM. Dennis, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Anytime, it's it's funny, after a weekend of a big event where I'm not able to go, usually I'm still bummed out. But seeing
Well,
the
you missed an
pictures,
epic weekend.
I know. And seeing the pictures, hearing the stories from some of the guys that I know that did go, I think this is one of those times where I'm like, I'm bummed, but at the same time, I'm really excited for the time that you guys had, and I think it's a testament to the brotherhood, as strong as it is, just to see how incredible of a time you guys had, and you guys raised some good money for charity, and yeah, just a great old time, man. So I guess I wanted to just start by saying a little bit to asking you, let's just start at the get go, man. What has this last year or so been like prepping for ECM? Because that's not an easy thing that's a big event.
It was, and we said, the other night walking to the meet and greet, we're like, this is like the rehearsal dinner for the wedding or something. It was such a quick year, and um, we the biggest challenge was trying to find the best venue that was the best value and affordable for everybody. And Bethlehem, Pennsylvania is, a great location near airports, highways, the whole deal. And it's just a cool little, they refer to it as a niche city.
Hmm.
And it's important to get your stuff done early because they're constantly booking different things, events to keep, the city hopping. And when they do book something, hotel prices double. And
Wow.
that was our nightmare, like trying to find the venue and lock in a price that again would be affordable to everyone. And we had found so many hotels now charge for parking and all these added costs. And so where we did it, it was free parking, free breakfast, and the room rate was great. And then we focused on contacting local businesses, looking for sponsorships, stuff like that. And it's all putting pieces together all throughout the year of trying to figure out what could we do that's going to be different and fun and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So remind everybody, where did you guys have it?
We ended up
The weekend?
we had it when you first come into the city. You came. It was funny because I drove by the place 100 times and I just kind of went but it was the Comfort Suites. They were great to us. Since we're a nonprofit, we don't have to pay tax. They were totally accommodating. And there's a casino down the road, and that was my first like, oh, that would be great to have it there. But they when I found out a venue price, they said $17,500 to rent a room. That included nothing. And we're like, no, we can't do that. It's about making money for our charity, which was Battleborn.
Yeah. Well,
So we focused the whole weekend. It was basically veteran focused, and we did our meet and greet at Seven Sirens Brewing, and that's also a veteran owned business, and that was great. And that was kind of a night of excitement. Um, Three brothers got their patches that night from Von Knox
wow.
with live FaceTime, and that added to the excitement of the weekend. We had Anthony from Richmond and Sorcerer got his loyals, and Jeremy, one of my guys, got his members patch personally. So that made the night special.
Yeah. How cool is that? Yeah, because that doesn't happen often.
No, I've
That
never
kind of
seen
stuff
that.
just I have never I've heard of it like once, and
No, it
it's very
was
cool.
these guys had tears in their eyes.
Man, that is so cool.
And,
Well,
and we, for the meet and greet, we asked everyone to bring a non-perishable item or household item. Our focus was Keystone Military Family, and that was incredible. We had it was like a 15-foot table just full of food and cookware, brand new cookware, and it was incredible. Guys really turned out for that with great stuff, and they were so appreciative about that.
oh man. So you guys did just an amazing amount of work with stuff this weekend, man.
Like it was a process. We really felt we kind of held off till Christmas, and then right after Christmas we kind of we set up a chat, and we had guys in charge of different things, investigating different things and putting stuff together, um, and we were trying, like, again, we were trying to do things that were great value for people. We didn't have anything too expensive, and we wanted people to spend their money on the charity, not on hotels or worried about running out for breakfast or parking, stuff like that. And anyway, I could
No,
ramble on about that, but
it adds
we
up, man. It really does. It adds
no,
up,
it
and
does.
when you figure on having to go to a place, it's living here in the Midwest. It's funny because so few places, unless you're going to a big city, like to an event space that you just know you're gonna have to pay for parking because that's what you do when you go to an event. But like for an event weekend, it's so uncommon for like here where I'm at for any hotel, unless you're going into a parking garage. It's so uncommon to just have to pay for parking at most hotels here. So when I go to a city where I have to, I have to, you have to figure that into the cost of your weekend because I mean, if it's 35 to 50 bucks, I mean, that's 150 bucks, easily over the course of the weekend. And that's like, well, you get in and out privileges. Well, yeah, but my car's going to sit there most of the weekend. And
Yeah,
so I have to pay 150 bucks just to let it sit there. I mean, it adds up, and it can make or break your weekend, really. I mean, something simple like that.
and that's what happened a couple years ago at Worlds in Chicago. Like it was truly, it was on the outskirts, but it was still $25 a night, I believe. And we were like, oh, I wasn't planning on that.
Right.
And we were there for 3 nights or something.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
Bethlehem, they call it the Christmas city. And, we kind of went with that theme of Moravian colleges there. There's a bunch of colleges, but Moravian College is one of the big colleges. So we kind of went with a Moravian star theme everywhere with everything we did. And what was I going to say? I started thinking about the star. Um, Also, Bethlehem was the home of Bethlehem Steel, which built many of famous landmarks in the country.
Oh yeah.
The World Trade Center, the Golden Gate Bridge, stuff like that. And so the ruins of it are there, and it's kind of almost made into a museum with walkways and stuff. So that's where we did our flag shoot. And
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on the um, true photos from the photographer. So I'm excited to get those because it was a great, just a great background for photos and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen some of the phone shots from that, and yeah, I was like, man, where did they go? And I'm glad you told me, because I had no idea that that's where that was. And yeah,
Yeah,
Bethlehem Steel, you know, if you know anything, that's the one. It's like that's the name. Bethlehem Steel when you hear Bethlehem. It doesn't matter if you live in Pennsylvania or not. That's just it's kind of like complete this sentence, Bethlehem. And
right,
if you're very religious, you think one way. But if you think, if you're just if you just grew up in America, anytime in the last 50 years, you're going to think Bethlehem Steel. And so yeah, but that's very cool. So it's the what's left of the factory, I'm assuming, then, right?
right. That's from the photos you're seeing. It's the big factory, and there's walkways built in. They've spent a lot of money on the area, and they're repurposing the factory buildings, making them into museums. And it's just a cool little area to hang out. And there's great restaurants. And again, it's a niche city, as they say. And it's wild that a room, when there's an event going on, because it was actually Lehigh University Family Weekend, and the rooms went up to $400
Oh,
for a room that you
jeez.
would pay $100 for. So it was like crazy to get all that stuff locked in, but we did it,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's great.
talk for a second about, because I every chance I get to ask somebody about hosting a bigger event, because more and more chapters are out there wanting to host an event of some substantial size, and some are afraid to try it. And I get where that comes from. I get where that fear comes from, because every once in a while you might hear that this chapter tried, and they only had like, they only had like a handful of people there, and that's a big worry for them. And they're worried about all these other factors. But can you talk for just a second, coming from the leadership side of things? And I know that you were talking about you had a team that was involved in this, but can you talk for a second about what it's like to how you guys really kind of went out into the community looking for help and sponsorships and stuff like that? How you went about doing that?
Well, we started, like I said, really start focusing on it in January, and we made up sponsorship letters, and I had every every member had to send out a minimum of 10 sponsorship letters to businesses in their locality. I mean, basically, most of my guys are on the eastern part of PA. Then we did, then it's kind of like a deal. You do, I say to people, you go to this is a bad example, the dry cleaners, because whoever goes to the dry cleaners anymore, right? But, or even your barber, go to your barber and say, hey, we're doing this thing. I'm looking for a donation. Could you make a gift card? Stuff like that. And the worst they're going to tell you is no. And just keep asking people. And in fact, a few weeks before the event, we walked there. There's a historical part of Bethlehem, and there's all these great little shops. And we walked and we talked to people all day and told them about the event, and asked them if they would like to be a vendor, a sponsor, or donate a gift basket. And we had fun because it was like walking in. It was it was real casual, but we did things like that to hopefully attract extra things for the event. Um, we can basically we broke it all down. It was all hands on deck. Everybody had a project, and you were expected to see through that project. Of course, I was behind, like, helping people if they needed help and stuff like that. But right down to the trophies with somebody who was in charge of that. Um, and then to be honest too, it was kind of a little strange. I mean, we knew worlds were happening in New Orleans, and that's where everybody's focus was. And it was a while before those rooms started filling up, and I was starting to panic. Like, okay, we blocked off these rooms, and there's a responsibility with that. Um, but then all at once, poof, they went, and I needed more rooms, and I had to, go away from our host hotel because everything booked up, and made an arrangement with even the hotel. Generally, if you don't sell your rooms, you're charged back for them. But being that we were a nonprofit, they were going to be forgiving of that, and they would buy the rooms back from us. So there's a lot of stuff like that you have to deal with,
Yeah.
behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. But it does. It takes, and I think that's kind of the overriding factor when I hear people talk about what they've had to do to make a larger event happen. It does take. It can't just be your officers. It can't just be three or four guys that make this event happen. It has to fall on the shoulders of every single member of the chapter to be the hosts for that event. And that's such a important thing. And I love the idea of what you just talked about, where you guys went out together and just kind of made an afternoon of it, I guess, where you just went out as a group and were kind of like introducing yourselves to a lot of people. And hey, by the way, we're doing this thing and it looks pretty cool, and come over and I
I
mean,
said,
cool way to do
it
it.
wasn't weird. It was fun. And, you might think, oh, that sounds weird, but it was fun, and we had a good time. And just people in the street are like, are you, the first thing, are you guys part of a motorcycle gang or something, And then we're like, no, 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 no. And then we do the whole spiel.
Right.
So it was a great way to, meet people. And even when during the event, other guests that were in the hotel were like, hey, what's going on? And they're saying, hey, we don't have beards, but we'll donate to your cause, because we had signage around in the lobby, and
Oh, how
people
cool is
saw
that?
this, that all this stuff was happening, and that was really cool too.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Okay. Well, let's go into the weekend then. So the weekend's here, and you had your meet and greet. I know you said at the brewery, and then you move through for the event, for the actual event itself. I'm hearing all sorts of stories about how cool it was, but talk for a minute about. I know you've already mentioned one of the more memorable things that happened, being able to have the live presentation of patches. But what's going to stick out to you, if you don't mind sharing? Because I know sometimes things happen that are kind of personal, but what's going to stick out to you as some of the greatest memories or of the weekend for you?
Well, our MC was, Rob from Richmond. He was amazing. He was epic. He made our event what it was. I mean, we had raffle baskets, but we had live auction items, and the energy in the room was incredible. Like, and we have some videos of it, and I could still sit back, and it just makes me smile because it was epic. There's no other words around it. I mean, like, people were really into it, and the crazy thing was, like, we sold the cheesecake for $600, and we sold the neon sign. I had a neon sign made that said East Coast Villains, and I think we got 400 for that. And I believe Traveler won that, and he walked right over and handed it to upstate New York.
Oh,
And that's what people were doing. They would win things, and they would walk over and hand it to somebody else, and you were like, wow, this is in brotherhood. That's what, that's the thing that stood out to me the most, that people spent all this money, and they would give that thing they want away because they know somebody else really wanted it.
That just amazes. I've seen that. I know we saw it last year at our event too. A couple of people did that, and I, I mean, you just because money's tight right now for a lot of people, and
Absolutely.
just the simple fact that they're willing to donate something, and I mean, in those large amounts. I mean, this is $50 is $50, and when you start talking, you end up into the triple digits and into the mid-level triple digits for something. I mean, you're giving something up for that. That's, you're making a decision right there in that weekend that, okay, I'm going to do this for charity. And what that means is I may not be able to do this other thing that I might be interested in for the next couple of weeks or a couple of months. And so I have absolute respect when you see that happen, but then to see that somebody's just, whatever it is that they're tangibly going to get back from that, could be a memory, it could be an item that they can then decide that they want to donate to something later down the road. I've seen that happen too. But then just to turn right back around and like, here's my money, but these guys wanted this thing, I'm gonna hand. That's I mean, talk about a
We
giving
had,
heart, man.
it was crazy. We had tattoo artists there. Um, the judges, everybody got so into the auction. The tattoo guys bought bearded villain patches. They bought like I think they spent $180. These guys that have no use for it whatsoever, but they walked over and they handed it to somebody. It was like that whole pay forward thing. Like it was, something that it's going to burn a hole in my soul forever because it was so epic the night.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things too that you see it happen, and then you think to yourself, "Man, how cool! I would love to be in a position where I could do that same thing one day." And it might not happen; it's not for everybody. But I'm so grateful that there's people out there that are in a position where they can do that.
Oh, I know.
And what's really impressive to me, and I kind of, I mean, so I've seen it happen, and I feel bad. There's part of me that's like, what the hell am I doing when I see that? Because I'm like, well, that they have like kids and they have a family and they have and they're still doing stuff like that. It's like, that's what, to me, when I said that, where I talked about, it's a decision that they're making sometimes in the moment. Sometimes I think sometimes the excitement of the moment gets the best of people, and hey, if we're trying to raise money, we're going to take advantage of that. I know, but at the same time, people have to think in advance. When they go into that weekend, that hey, this is going to be an expensive weekend for me, and they kind of go into it knowing that, if they're able to do that, and what better thing to do when you're raising money for veterans too. I know that that's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, and they knowing that that's where it's going to go, and Battleborn. It's you guys have been partners with them for a bit.
We have, and this year, Chris from Battleborn bought a house, and it's an old house, and it needs lots of work. And he called us and said, "Hey, could you guys help me in any way?" And we're like, "What do you need?" And he said, "Well, I bought this house, and maybe you guys could help paint or something." And so anyway, we went and checked it out, and it's been one of our projects. And we started this, I believe, in August. I have guys that do different things, and everybody's come to the party here with. I have a guy who has a construction business and painting. He's gone through and fixed, the drywall, got all the bedrooms painted. One of my other guys is plumbing. He's putting a half a bath in. Uh, we've been painting, and there's still lots of work to be done. But one of my guys went through and took him the whole day to just clean the yard and cut down all the weeds and all the brush and stuff that was, But it's going to be a transition house for vets.
That's what I was
And
just going to ask. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. It's going to be a wow. So
and
it's going to be like kind of a home base for Battleborn as a transition house for one of the things that they do, because I know they do a lot, but
he does. Chris is an
to open that up,
amazing,
that's a
amazing man.
yeah. Can you? I don't know how comfortable you are talking about as far as that goes, but can you talk for anybody that is not aware of what Battleborn does? Can you talk for a second if you feel that you can? Sometimes we don't always know and we don't feel comfortable talking about what a charity does, but I don't know if you know them well enough that you can talk to what all they do.
Well, I I can't totally talk, but he totally works with veterans with PTSD, uh, alcohol, problems, recovery, all that kind of stuff. He tries to get everybody back on their feet and gets them to the right people they need to go to. Um, that's what he does full time,
Wow.
and he, the man is everywhere, always with his eyes open, looking for, you know, opportunities where he could help people. Yeah, he's the energy level in this guy is amazing, and he was, Saturday night. He messaged me Sunday morning. He goes, and I'm not going to say the words he uses because he likes to use those words, but um, he said that was the best, most amazing time he ever had in his whole life, a Saturday night, because he couldn't believe the support when he saw people, bidding this amount of money on things. He's just totally in awe of everything, and what we've done for him so far this year, and um, he really looks up to their villains because of it.
They is there a did you guys come up with a dollar amount that you were able to raise from the weekend in a financial end of things just from the money alone?
We're still waiting on a couple things that might be a little more, but we're approximately our our donation's going to be about 11,000, and we are, if you factor in, if you put a price on what we've done in the house for my guys who are the construction guys, we're at about 10,000 with that now.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. So, we're proud of that. We're proud of those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What yeah, it's my jaw hits the floor when you think about it. I mean, and really the money's one thing, but the fact that I mean to see the support, the additional support that you're able to provide, that's the stuff that you can't quantify it. How much time and resources would it have taken him to be able to do the things that you're doing for him for this house on his own without having the additional assistance? And how much quicker this place is going to be up and running because of what you've done. That
And
hell, I
and
have
that's
I
gonna.
have a hard time. I have a hard time just fixing the boards on my deck. Uh,
I know.
and I know how I've been waiting all summer to get that to finish that. And I mean, hell, it goes back a year when guys were here helping me tear old deck boards down and it's still not done. And you're talking about a house. So yeah,
An old house.
right. Yeah, yeah, that's a big difference. So yeah, I have absolute respect for what you guys have done with that. That's awesome.
And and that's one of the things we focus on as a chapter. I mean, I hate to be asking guys like, oh, could you donate to this? Could you donate to that? So a lot of things we donate manpower, and which a lot of people don't get and they need. Even when we do Keystone Military, we will pack boxes for troops overseas. It's that we're not donating money or helping harvest, those kind of things. We look, um, animal shelter, things, that require manpower, that these guys don't have the resources because, like everywhere else, they're short on employees or volunteers. So we're able to jump in and help them with that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not enough out there where chapters can do that kind of stuff. I mean there is, but we don't see it enough. It seems like it's so easy just to do something, raise money and then donate the money And I know that, and I say that because I know that like we've done that as well. And our big event that's coming up in October, that's pretty much what we do is we raise money and get items for Ronald McDonald House, knowing full well that we wish we could do more hands on with them, but when the type of business that it is, it's not afforded really for us to be able to go into the facility and do things, for them in that regard. But we find other ways to do that, and that's what we've always tried to encourage other people to do too. And I know I've heard, you're setting a perfect example of that as well. Find something that you can go out and do. It doesn't have to be this big event that raises money for something. It can be a couple weekends a year, and you go, you find a Saturday and you go do this thing for this person in need or this organization in need. And it can be do it some rake leaves, clean up some landscaping, do that kind of
Yep.
thing. And those are
We
some of the
we try to
most,
focus on the little guy who doesn't get the support from big, corporate sponsors and stuff like that.
yeah,
Because those are the guys that really go out there and work, and you have to look up to them, that they believe in their cause so much that they're willing to do this, and they just need help.
yeah. Well, man, I've taken up a bunch of your time, Dennis. I appreciate you hanging out with me for a bit today to talk about this. I am still bummed that I wasn't there, but man, I'm hoping.
We missed you.
No, you didn't miss me. I wasn't. It's okay. Nobody noticed I wasn't there, and that's okay. You're having too much fun, and I'm nobody, so it's good, man. It's good. I'm glad got to see the photos. Ed went live a couple times and shared a couple things, and I was able to see some things there that through him, and yeah, it's you hate to miss some of the big ones, but like I said, it's it was just one of those things. I'm still doing the show, the local community show last weekend, and then this is the last weekend for it coming up. So, but what's on tap for you guys the rest of the year, man? Recovery?
Well, we're looking into. It's going to be with a joint venture with um, a special needs group, and we're just starting to investigate it. But it's an airplane pool, or with to pull an airplane. So we're still investigating that one. Don't totally understand it yet and how that all works, but it sounds interesting. And we have our, we will be packing, bags for Thanksgiving for families with Keystone Military, and we have our 4th anniversary coming up already. So we're trying to put something together for that.
4 years goes by quick, doesn't it?
Amazing.
Yep, I hear you. It's our 4 year this year too. I just, yeah, I don't. There was a time when I could never even imagine that there was a Northern Indiana, and I'm sure there was a time, the very first East Coast meet I went to, it was just Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, crazy times, man, but it flies right by. But what's cool is that if you're busy and you're doing the cool things, it makes it go that much faster.
Absolutely.
And you guys are killing it, man. You guys are killing it. So congratulations on an amazing
Thank
weekend. It's the charity part of it, the money part of it is one side of it, but the brotherhood side of it is another. And I have been, you follow on Instagram and you hear people that went to the weekend and have come back from it and just talked about, and that's I think that's one of the best things that you can get after a weekend like that is when people can't stop talking about it. People can't stop talking about how much fun it was to get to hang out with people and be a part of that event, the event that it was. And I'll tell you, and probably Ed said it to you a few times, but my conversations with him that, hey, PA East just killed it, just killed the weekend, had an awesome time, and so I know when he says that, it's true. So he doesn't give that praise too often. So congrats, man.
Thank you. It was an epic weekend, and it was amazing. And Rob was a big part of making it the magic it was, because it was. And I think everybody, the energy was amazing. And I can't believe it's a week already now. Tomorrow is a week from the meet and greet, and it's like, what? Really? I haven't recovered yet.
And yeah, it'll feel like that for a couple weeks, I'm sure. And then you'll miss it. Then you'll be, wait a minute, I want to do that again right away. So
And I went home Sunday, and I'm like, okay, wait, I don't have to deal with this, and I don't have to deal with that. This is weird, because every day I had my list.
yeah,
You
you've been working on it for a year, and now you're just kind of like, what now? What now? Well, you'll find something. You've already got some ideas
Oh, I will.
percolating. So, man, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I can't wait to see, what's going to come next for you guys. And I know that I've already got ECM for next year on my calendar, and so I'm not going to get mixed up in a show at the community theater for next fall.
And next year it's going to be upstate New York and in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So that should be exciting.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if I don't see you before then, I don't know if our paths are going to cross between now and ECM next year, if you're going or whatnot. But love to have you out here. But hey, it's I know things happen, and next time I see you, man, I'll give you a big hug. But man, I can't say enough for you. Fantastic weekend, man.
Thank you.
So, enjoy the time away, the time back that you're gonna have. Your own free time for a couple weeks before you get lobbied into something else. But take the time, enjoy it, and have a great weekend off this weekend.
Yes.
All right, Dennis. Thanks so much for taking some time. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All righty. Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, man. Such a fun interview talking with Dennis about that fun weekend, man, and so much work that they're putting in the man hours to help build this home for Battleborn. And I can't wait to see. I've seen some pictures already. They shared some. If you go out on IG, you can see some of the pictures that they've shared of some of the work that they put in already there. And I can't wait to see the final product there. So again, thanks Dennis, for that interview. And congratulations to everybody at PA East for such an awesome weekend. I know that everybody that did go had an awesome time, and it was a great weekend for charity. So let me play this. Whether you're navigating the rugged terrain of the great outdoors or conquering the concrete jungle of the urban landscape, Bigfoot Beard Company has you covered. Bigfoot products are made with natural ingredients designed to help maintain a healthy, rich beard without leaving it feeling greasy and heavy. From classic cologne-inspired fragrances to fruity notes and earthy tones, there's sure to be a scent for every occasion. With worldwide shipping available, why not take an opportunity to walk on the wild side? Head over to Bigfoot Beard Company today. That's www.bigfootbeardco.com. Again, that's www.bigfootbeardco.com. All right, guys. Well, hey, you know what it is? It's time. I've got to get out of here because I got to get over to the theater. I'm glad we were able to squeeze this show in this short time. I'm surprised we were able to do it, but we did it. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who did at last minute, basically jump on here and enjoy this show with me. I know some of you guys, you longtime listeners, longtime watchers are always here. So I greatly appreciate that. But you know what, guys, that's going to be it. That's it. It's going to wrap up episode 228. Thank you guys so much for being here. As I say every week, I want to challenge you all to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Please remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Guys, have an awesome weekend, awesome Friday night. Be safe out there this weekend. We'll be back next week for episode 229. Until then, take care. Stay safe.
They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every